Good morning. I'm Melanie Barnes, and this is Wake Up Rochester for Tuesday, May 8th. It's just about 5:30. Here's what you can expect in our next 30 minutes. RIT takes action after several students almost died from alcohol poisoning. Plus, in Money Watch, how travel prices could affect your summer plans. And it's a treatment usually reserved for humans, but some four-legged friends are getting in on the action. Hey, are you upgrading to a new cell phone? Your old one may come in handy. Welcome back to another edition of Your House, but sorry folks, I'm ready. Get ready. Give me one moment. Here at Rochester General Hospital, videotaping the entire birth is allowed. But they admit, because of our story, risk management reviewed the policy, but in the end decided to keep it the same. Thanks, Tom. All right, I have to do my best cheerleader impression. Victory, victory, that's their cry. I tried. Coming up, a local cheerleading squad prepares for a world competition. There you go. These are the real athletes here. It's 5:49. This is Wake Up Rochester on Channel 8. I can't imagine when my son, who's 20 months old, sees him. What's it like when the kids see him in person?
They just rave about him. He steps into the grounds and he walks around with the kids and shakes hands and gives them a hug.
Oh.
Just, even the grandparents.
Can I get a hug?
Absolutely.
Oh, there we
He's
go.
a great
Big
guy.
hug. My son's going to be so jealous watching at home. Welcome back at 6:44. We're getting you fit for life with Grace Rickey from Unity Health. Good morning.
Good morning.
So are you the kind of person that really shouldn't be talked to before you have your morning cup of coffee or what?
I'm actually okay. People can still say like three sentences to me, but don't blast me with anything.
Nothing important, nothing, no numbers, that kind of thing. I know some people like that. We're talking about caffeine, and you know, there's a lot of myths about caffeine that is bad, and ODing on anything is not a good idea. 3 Rochester men are under arrest this morning in connection with a murder near Buffalo last month. 18-year-old Jake Winters, 18-year-old Gerald Anderson III, and 19-year-old Stephen Lee are all in police custody. They believe Winters did home improvement work for a man in West Seneca and showed up with 2 other men to burglarize the home. Now, when the homeowner confronted them, he was hit with a paint roller and died of blunt force trauma. All 3 men face murder, burglary, and robbery charges. Another Rochester teen is under arrest in connection with a deadly stabbing last summer. Back in July, Kenneth Jones was stabbed in the chest during a fight on Conkey Avenue. 18-year-old Quentin Stanbeck has been charged with second-degree murder. The victim of a shooting last month has died. Now Rochester police are investigating this as a homicide. 35-year-old Jeremy Sherrod Allen was shot on Malling Drive back in April. He was taken to Strong Hospital, and this weekend he died. Anyone with information is asked to call 911. In response to a weekend party that turned pretty dangerous, RIT is suspending the men's and women's rugby clubs. The party Friday night on Loden Lane in Henrietta sent 6 students to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. 3 were placed on ventilators. Since the incident, all of the students have returned home. The school is investigating whether the party was an initiation for new rugby players. In 1 month, 6 homicides were committed in the city of Rochester, the latest 2 happening this past weekend. Late Friday night, the body of 34-year-old Christopher Dunbar was found in an alley near Silver Street. Police say he was shot multiple times. On Saturday, 19-year-old Tyshawn Warren was shot in the head while at a house party on Avenue D. Officers tell News 8 more neighbors are helping by providing information that eventually leads to an arrest. Police say on average they've solved about 65% of city homicides in the past 3 years. That's about 3% higher than the national average. An attorney originally from Rochester is at the heart of the so-called D.C. Madam scandal. Montgomery Sibley represents Deborah Jean Palfrey, who is accused of running a high-end prostitution ring. Palfrey allegedly netted $2 million by providing call girls to the powerful and connected. She has turned over 4 years' worth of phone records to the media. Her attorney says it's not blackmail. She's just looking for witnesses to prove her innocence. Thanks, Johnny. All right, right now, it is a great time to be a Buffalo Sabres fan.
It sure is, and Melanie knows that. As we just mentioned, the Sabres beat the Rangers Friday night and are now in Eastern Conference Finals. How about that?
But if you want a ticket, you're going to have to pay up. Tickets have been sold out all season, and the only way to get them now is through a ticket broker or from a season ticket holder, like my brother-in-law. Give me a call.
And you better get them fast, because the local ticket broker that we spoke with says some of the tickets are selling for thousands.
It's not going to be easy. We'll sell every ticket we have just like we have all year. The Sabres are the most exciting team in hockey. Golisano's done a great job. The team is Going to win the Stanley Cup.
Just 2-on-1 up to Yager.
Now, by the way, the tickets to the Stanley Cup Finals are already being sold for close to $4,000.
I think my brother-in-law is going to be able to pay off his mortgage. He has 4 tickets. It's actually kind of the family seats they share and buy from him and that kind of thing. So.
If you see him driving a new Porsche, you know what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Go Sabres. All right, crews continue their search for survivors in a small Kansas town.
And the dinner fit for a queen at the White House. Coming up, we'll have details on that. It's 5:14. This is Wake Up on Channel 8.
Dry.
Yeah, another piece of advice, wear a big hat. Our dermatologist on the show this morning said, wear a big hat.
A sombrero for Cinco de Mayo.
Good job. All right, thanks, John. Coming up next, how about a hug? It's not a matter of getting familiar. It's a form of art. At least that's the story 2 Chinese men are trying to sell. We'll be back in just 60 seconds. Welcome back, 622. We're cooking in the kitchen. And how come I'm always the one? Okay, Sam Kaiser is here with his nice shirt on here, and I have gloves. I have an apron. I'm kind of messy.
This is what chefs do. Chefs don't get dirty. They supervise.
Oh, I see. Oh, so I'm what do you call it, the sous chef versus the head chef?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we are making a great light dish. Everyone loves chicken salad during the summertime when it's warmer out. So how are we going to get started with your version, your creative chicken salad here?
Okay, first of all, let's toast these pine nuts. We're going to put the pine nuts in a pan that we got heated up here. All right, and we're going to add a little sugar to that.
Ooh, sugar.
And while we are doing that, letting this get good and toasty and hot, I'll hold this for you. Why don't you grab your spoon there.
Grab my spoon, okay.
Let's put the ingredients in the bowl. This is grilled chicken.
How much here? Everything?
Yeah, put it all in.
Okay, because you told me you can always add, you can't subtract. That's my mantra now. There we go. So we have some cut-up chicken that you cooked, and celery and onion. Okay.
Now you want to take the grapes.
Grapes.
Let's add.
How many grapes?
I like a lot of grapes. I'm a big fan.
Sit here and pick all these grapes off. Now, did you put them in? You put them in whole? Or are you going to chop them up at all, or?
No, put them in whole.
Okay, because usually when you get chicken salad, everything's chopped pretty fine.
See, what we can do with this is either serve it like on a croissant, or you can actually eat it just with a fork. Since it's Mother's Day, I figured this would be a nice Mother's Day kind of a thing if somebody wanted to attempt this.
Yeah.
What I would recommend is actually like maybe just marking the chicken on the grill the night before and putting it on a pan, just finishing in the oven the next morning.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a good idea, Sammy.
That is great. Now we're going to add some mayo. And nothing,
a scoop.
Nothing like Hellmann's.
There we go.
I'm a big fan of mayo. I'm
a real mayonnaise kind of gal too. Yeah.
Okay, now let's start.
Once again, folks, he's your cook, not your doctor. Stole that from Paula Deen. Well, she was on Oprah last week. I love her. She's my favorite. Next to you, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, so I got all the grapes in there, and he's got about 6 jars of mayonnaise in there. Okay.
All right, let's
next?
Let's start stirring up that.
Okay. This is why I wear the apron, folks. You should see how much food ends up on my floor at home. That's what the dog's for. All right.
Actually, I thought that was the baby was for.
Yeah, he contributes to the mess on the floor, let me tell you. Okay, so once we're getting this all, this smells great. Oh, and the pine nuts, right?
Yes.
Is that what they are? They're toasting. Oh, okay.
Looks lovely. Okay, now let's grab our spices.
Okay, and what are these spices?
I'm a big fan of some ranch dressing mix. What you have there is salt, pepper, just like that, salt, pepper, and basil.
Salt, pepper, and basil, okay. How much?
That's probably good. Let's put some of that ranch dressing mix in there.
And, favorite, Hidden Valley ranch dressing here. The whole thing?
No, that's perfect right there.
All righty. See, now, folks, you can watch this again at home because he doesn't give you a teaspoon of that, a teaspoon of this. Yeah, just shake a little bit in until it looks good.
Probably about a teaspoon of each.
Okay, while we're putting the pine nuts in, we want to give folks the information about Creative Caterers. Of course, if you're lazy like me or just don't know how to cook well, they'll do it for you. Creative Caterers on Old Browncroft Boulevard, 288-5870, creativecaterers.com. And coming up next, we're going to make some quiche, right?
Yes.
News 8's Melanie Barnes joins us live this afternoon from school number 20 on Oakman Street with details. Melanie.
Kathy, a committee from the school district has been working on a modernization plan for nearly a year. They say time is of the essence to fix up these old and dilapidated buildings. Now this morning, members of the Facilities Modernization Initiative put out the call for parent and citizen input in drawing up the final plans. Committee members say the project is extensive and will cost between $600 and $800 million, the largest project in the city school district's history. If plans can be submitted by spring and the district is eligible, the district will be eligible to be reimbursed by the state for up to 96% of the cost. Superintendent Manny Rivera says the project is vital to put city schools on par with schools in the suburbs.
Our facilities on average are 62 years old, some of them in serious disrepair. It's important that we as a community recognize this and that we take steps to provide the best for our students.
We don't want it to be a case where bricks are falling down from buildings and we're erecting scaffolding, not because we're building, but because we're catching the bricks. That's why it's important that we get ahead of this plan early.
There will be 2 informational sessions next week, the first on January 23rd at the James Madison campus. The second workshop will be January 26th at East High School. Both meetings start at 6 o'clock. If the project goes through, construction could begin as soon as 2007. Now, some students will likely be displaced while the work is being done, and this project could take up to 10 years to complete. Reporting live from school number 20 on Oakman Street, Melanie Barnes, News 8 Now.
News 8's Melanie Barnes delves into the problem of reading, writing, and reality.
Up in the morning and out to school.
Ask any teacher who his best pupils are, and they'll tell you, the ones who get support from home. Hillary said it takes a village to raise a child, and teachers say it takes a team to educate them. Parents need to hold up their end of the deal.
Just to be involved, to ask your child what happened that day. What kind of things are you doing? What's the homework been like? Are you getting the homework done?
Kathy Gunther does just that, but sometimes she doesn't feel qualified to help with some of the work at her daughter's level.
I didn't take French, so I don't know anything about that. As far as math goes, that's way beyond. I don't remember a lot about that.
Even a woman who taught in the city school district for 30 years and now hosts Homework Hotline on WXXI admits today's schoolwork can be intimidating for the grown-ups.
We all understand that a parent has trouble with chemistry and physics and name it, it's calculus. But 5th grade math doesn't look like it used to anymore either.
There's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.
Hearing about that helpless feeling is all too familiar for the Director of Parent and Community Involvement for the Rochester City School District.
Some parents don't pursue academic excellence for their children because they themselves are academically unprepared and they feel uncomfortable.
Besides that, kids are busier than ever, involved in after-school sports and activities. Many parents both work full-time and don't connect with their kids about what's really going on in class.
Some of